This is 3 News Daily.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to a brand new week of 3 News Daily on this Monday, April 17th. I'm Stephanie Haney here with your top stories from around Northeast Ohio. And we start in Akron today, where we could see a decision by a grand jury on whether 8 Akron police officers involved in the shooting death of 25-year-old Jayland Walker will face charges. Our Lydia Esparra breaks down the latest details in this closely watched case.
At the Summit County Courthouse, where a special grand jury is meeting, the city of Akron locking down the fortress. This is downtown Sunday early evening, and business after business boarded up. For Eric Brzezinski, it's as if the city was waiting for a big storm.
It's not a good look for a city when you're trying to build something, right?
It's not a storm, but preparations for the grand jury decision. On April 10th, the grand jury began hearing evidence to determine whether or not 8 Akron police officers will face criminal charges in the shooting death of Jayland Walker. Walker was shot and killed last June after a traffic stop. He was unarmed when officers shot at him 46 times. Students from the University of Akron are aware of the impending potential unrest, but
it's just college. We're just trying to get through that, yeah.
And then when you walk down here, you're like, what?
Yeah, a little bit.
When Walker was killed, some businesses had damage from the unruly protesters. Now, nearly 10 months later, there are dozens of boarded up buildings, perimeter fencing, and concrete barricades.
I mean, it's good to see precautions for what could potentially happen.
And what could happen, all 8 officers could be charged, or some of the 8 could get indicted, or the grand jury could decide not to charge the 8 officers at all. But until a decision is made, this is downtown Akron's new normal. Brzezinski says he understands and wishes it were not like this.
When someone's new to a community and they come in, that's the first thing you see. You're not really greeted with like the best look.
Now, a decision by that grand jury is expected today or tomorrow, and we will keep you updated as we learn more information. Now, here in Cleveland, police are investigating a man being shot and killed near West 95th Street and South Marginal Drive yesterday afternoon. The Cuyahoga County Medical Examiner shared this morning that the victim was Darius T. Williford of Euclid. Authorities say Williford was shot in the back and thigh. He was taken to Metro Health Medical Center in critical condition, where he later died. So far, no one has been arrested for his death. In Bedford Heights, the trial is set to begin for a man accused of murdering his ex-girlfriend. Stephen Cawthorn was indicted on murder charges in the death of 26-year-old Gina Lampton. Officials say he killed Gina inside her apartment on November 5th, 2021. He's also been charged with aggravated murder and felonious assault. Now in Medina, the Rainforest Car Wash is temporarily closed after a minivan caught on fire inside of it on Friday. It happened around 2:24 p.m. and the Sharon Township Fire Department says everyone inside the car got out safely and thankfully no one was injured. Representatives from the car wash say that the fire started from a malfunction in the minivan, but they didn't share exactly what was wrong or how it happened. Move now to East Palestine, where Senator Sherrod Brown is in town today to talk with residents about the aftermath of the February 3rd toxic train derailment. Senator Brown's office says they're working to secure resources for residents and hold Norfolk Southern accountable for the cleanup and damages. Representatives for Norfolk Southern said on Saturday that they've removed all of the toxic soil from under the south track at the derailment site. Up next, excavation begins under the north track. Officials will continue monitoring for contamination. All right, listen up, Northeast Ohio. Tomorrow is tax day. It's the deadline to file your 2022 tax returns. And if you're one of those procrastinators who still hasn't filed your taxes, you are not alone. Last year, a study found that 1/3 of Americans wait until the very last minute to do it. So we put together a quick guide to make sure you don't miss your deadline. If you're filing by mail, you have to have it postmarked by tomorrow, April 18th. If you're filing electronically, you have to have it sent in by 11:59 p.m. tomorrow. And if you need to file an extension, that also has to be sent in by 11:59 p.m. tomorrow. The catch is, if you owe money to the government, even if you file that extension, you still have to pay what's due tomorrow to avoid any fees. So get those filings in ASAP to avoid fees and interest. And here's a little tip if you had to do any home repairs this year, like maybe getting new windows or a roof. You might be eligible for a tax credit, so check out those things closely. All right, over the weekend, the U.S. Navy held a special ceremony for the future USS Cleveland. Right now, the ship is in Wisconsin, and next year it comes here to Cleveland. That's where it will be officially commissioned as a military ship. From there, the USS Cleveland will head to Florida to become part of the Navy's fleet. This is the 4th time a Navy vessel has been named in honor of our city. Okay, turning now to the Cavaliers as they gear up for Game 2 in the NBA playoffs round 1 tomorrow. They lost Game 1 to the New York Knicks on Saturday at home, but it was a close game with a final score of 101-97. It was also the first playoff game for most of the players. That includes Darius Garland. The Cavs are really going to need to turn it up in Game 2 tomorrow. That starts at 7:30 p.m. at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. For Game 3, the Cavs head to New York, and they do not want to go there with 2 losses and the Knicks having home court advantage. I have a feeling we're going to see good things on Tuesday. All right, now to your entertainment news. Over the weekend, the curtain closed for the final time on one of Broadway's iconic shows. The Phantom of the Opera has ended its historic run. The show opened in 1988 and played more than 13,000 performances throughout the years. I was lucky enough to see one of those. Incredible show. Broadway said it was time for the final curtain call because of slow ticket sales and the high production cost. They did end on a high note, though. Tickets for the final performance went for as much as $4,000. I can tell you my ticket did not cost that much. All right, coming up tonight, in honor of National Volunteer Week, we're highlighting volunteer opportunities all week on What's New, and I'm kicking things off today with the Legal Aid Society of Cleveland. It's a group I've had the pleasure of working with, and tonight we'll talk with board members and volunteers about how you can get involved. That's whether you're a lawyer or not, and how you can get help from volunteers if you need it. It's an incredible organization. Very happy to be affiliated with them and very excited to share more about it with all of you. All right, thanks for being here for today's edition of 3 News Daily. Whether you're watching on WKYC Plus, our YouTube page, on Instagram, or listening on your favorite podcast platform, or watching us live on your TVs, we appreciate you. We'll be back tomorrow. Everybody have a great day.